Hi guys, Penny here, and I'm an oyster boy, and today I'm going to be brewing the Sierra Nevada clone. So you can actually go on their website and check out, and they actually give you the full recipe for 19 litres, tell you all the hop additions, all the information you need. So we've got here, we've got Simpson's Crystal Malt T50, and we've got Munton's Lager Malt, and that's it. That's the grain bill. And we're also only using one hop. So we're using the Cascade hop. So we're going to mash at about 68 degrees, so I've converted it from Fahrenheit, and then we're going to do a mash out at 76, and then a 90-minute boil. We've got about 4 different hop additions. So what we're going to do is we're going to do side by side. Now, you may notice, well, Penny, what yeast are you using? Well, Ace has given me all the ingredients, and he's forgot to give me the yeast, so we're going to have to go around and get it later. So Ace, can you please add on the picture the LAX yeast from WHC that we're going to use. Catch you in a bit, guys. Hi guys, Penny here. So we're on to the boil. So I've got here, just made boil, that we're on a roll and boil, all that junk's gone from the top. So we've got our 14 grams of Cascade. So we're gonna get the boil started, do the addition. Let's get the ball rolling.
Hi guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Penny.
And we are the Oyster Boys, and back again with
Yes.
another all-grain brewing video. This one is a pretty cool one actually. So Sierra Nevada, some time ago, I don't know how long ago, some ages
69?
ago, who knows. Well, no, not about when they started, but
Okay.
a while ago they put a recipe on their website which is like the homebrew notebook recipe of Sierra Nevada before it was like a commercially available.
Yeah,
beer.
it's when he started testing it out, because I think he started with a homebrew kit, then he had a homebrew shop, and then he started to launch the Sierra Nevada, and he said something like 90% of people didn't like it.
Too hoppy.
Yeah, but the 10% of people that did love it, loved it. Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the recipe off the website, and we're going to see, what the really old homebrew recipe version is like compared to how it is now, and just overall how it is as a beer.
Yeah, and I think he said that when you're making it, he said that basically he had to do a lot of tweaks with it because there's so many obviously variabilities to the water quality, the what types of grain they use, the temperature and all that. He said there's so many different variables, and he had to go into detail to make sure he could sort of almost replicate it to the point. So
yeah. So this is the homemade one.
Obviously. The homemade homebrew recipe. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to get a commercial one in the glass and see how it looks compared to it. I'm assuming the commercial one will probably be a bit...
Well, it's going to be filtered, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit filtered, a bit clearer.
But I think
you can get yours in if you want,
yeah.
mate. Don't wait for me. It's not the Mark Rogers show, is it?
But I think so. They
bleep my last name out there.
So they did obviously had to...
fairly close, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think this one's a bit lighter, but again, that clarity just could be from the filtration process, but it's fairly close on the look.
Because obviously the malt that I picked for I can't remember off the top of my head, the Carapils, you changed it. You didn't like the one I went for.
Well, yeah, so you'd put Carapils, but Carapils just like dextrin malt, so it doesn't really add any colour. But what they were using was like caramel 60 or caramel 90. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, which is basically a darker roasted version of like pale two-row malt.
So if you want to see what we use, because obviously it doesn't go into detail what types of grain to use. You can actually see
it does, but in fact, it's an American recipe, so we would call the malts something different over here. Okay. So we'll share the recipe on the Grain Father and what we use in the description down below, and a link to it as well.
But I think I did pretty well.
Yeah, I think colour-wise, mate, that is pretty spot on. I might hold it again.
And if you look,
see through them both there.
If you look at the head as well, exactly the same colour. It almost looks. I mean,
you've poured more into our glass. I would say there's more in our glass than there is in the bottle.
Yeah. You
didn't manage to get the very specific 355 millilitres.
No, very
on
specific.
Your pour.
Yeah. That extra mouthful.
It looks like a good beer though. I give that 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I follow that, 8.5.
So I'm going to give the original a sniff. to remind myself what I'm going to be getting. Should be Super Cascade, because that's pretty much the only hop.
It's the
in
only
it.
hop, yeah.
Does
Yeah.
smell good, doesn't it? It kind of smells like an old English bitter, doesn't it? Sometimes you smell it, because it's like caramelly, roasty notes and Cascade hops.
Delicious. So the yeast I obviously used was the LAX. I think mine smells a bit sweeter, but other than that,
Yeah,
very similar. So, because obviously it says use a Chico yeast.
Yeah, so we looked at Chico, but Chico's what, like 11 quid a pack?
Yes.
Or something like that. And we've had a look around, and WHC Labs have brought out a load of yeast to the homebrew market recently. And one of them is LAX or LAX.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming it's LAX rather than laxative, right?
I don't know if that's what comes to
I
head
don't know,
for you when you say LAX. I don't know.
Like the airport.
I thought it meant relax, but you know.
Well, I mean, it could be. It could be. And but lax is, when you read up about it, it's either bred from or related to or comparable to Chico.
Yeah. The
So
original.
I don't think it's I think the Chico's the original Chico.
Yeah, but I can't remember what it.
So we'll see how they sort of are taste wise and attenuation wise. They're both like as dry as each other. Are they close? Because if they are, lax is a lot cheaper.
It's less than half the price.
3 quid.
Yeah.
And Chico's like 11 quid. So
Yeah.
aroma wise, though, mate. I mean, I love it. It's obviously
it's not powerful, is it? But it's just a pale ale.
But no,
so
this one isn't
I mean,
like.
there's no dry hop addition. It's all in
It's
the
like
oil.
and some last minute is it Whirlpool or just like 0 minute?
0 minute flame out. Yeah.
I mean, neither of them are like blowing me away on the aroma. They smell incredibly similar. Like you say, this one smells a little sweeter, maybe.
But I think when we've done last clones, we found that ours, because it's usually fresher,
Yeah.
it's always going to be more punchy.
But this recipe will have evolved over time since this one as well.
That's true.
But
What are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it an 8-1.
Yeah, 8.1.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it another 8.5.
Yeah, nice.
It's nice.
Should we dive in and have a taste? Original first. See what we're working with.
On.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's a good beer, isn't it?
Yeah. And you get that sweetness as well. And it's not too hoppy. That
was an inside burp.
That's the best.
If I'd have opened my mouth, it would have just dribbled beer.
It's just a well-rounded, delicious beer, isn't it?
Nice long bitterness at the end as well.
Yeah.
Like not a really nice long, dry, bitter finish.
Yeah. So was it just a Cascade come out and they were the first to sort of?
I have no idea, mate.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe they got a good deal on it.
I don't know if it's just
it's a tasty.
Yeah,
one,
they're showcasing it off, and I think the Cascade has sort of maybe just burst onto the scene, and it was showing.
Or maybe they made Cascade burst onto the scene, because actually I'm sure that we have done a beer before, which was like a Siren craft beer, where it was their tribute to Sierra Nevada because they were doing a hop showcase series.
Okay.
And one of them was Cascade, and they did that.
Maybe.
Which is good.
Maybe.
But let's dive in.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Yours is definitely colder. You do like your beers cold, yeah. Little sweeter.
Yeah.
Little sweeter on this
Maybe
recipe.
a bit less hoppy as well.
And a tiny bit less hoppy as well, yeah.
It's getting there, isn't it?
It's so close. Same nice long bitterness at the end.
Yeah, just maybe a bit more up front.
Yeah.
Personally, for me,
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think what was interesting because
this one tastes a bit fruitier.
yeah,
a little bit fruitier.
but it's going to be because it's fresher, isn't it? I guess. What's interesting because you come round and I'd had it in the keg, out the fermenter, pressured after 5 days. So
long enough to get fizzy, but probably not enough to condition properly.
we tried it, and you went, "What? That is nothing like Sierra Nevada."
Yeah,
What have you done? And I went, "Oh."
It was like the yeast hadn't had time to clean up after itself.
Exactly.
It was just it was a fruit bomb.
Yeah.
It was like.
But it was a bit yeasty as well, wasn't it? I think it needed to settle down, chill out, relax.
Yeah,
relax.
just relax. Relax with it, yeah.
Yeah, it just needed to. Basically, it was just too green.
Yeah.
And I think it's about 5 weeks old.
Yeah, and it's really come into its own.
And it's
really has. So if you do this recipe,
Yeah.
I would say leave it to condition.
Yeah.
There are other Sierra Nevada clone recipes available, which I
Yeah.
think are probably closer to this, but this is really interesting to see, right, you know, if this is what it did start out like, it's really interesting to see how it's kind of evolved and lost a bit of that fruity flavour, you know, over the years, become a bit cleaner and a slightly more pronounced hop flavour on the modern one. But this is a mega crushable beer, though.
Yeah, you can taste it. It's basically, it's just that fruity, really, isn't it?
Yeah, just slightly fruity version.
I think the yeast is spot on.
Yeah, I think so. Really, really nice. I mean, taste-wise, I'd give it an 8.4. So
you're off with the...
I'm on the 8s this week,
yeah,
aren't
but
I?
it's the 0.1s and 0.4s. I'm going to give it an 8. Nice fat 8.
Nice round score.
Yeah, absolutely.
Price.
Yeah, so it was, with the LAX yeast, it was £32.82, and that was for 19 litres.
And do you use 1 LAX or 2 LAX?
I used 1 LAX.
1 LAX.
1 LAX, yes.
Okay.
And yeah, it worked out at 94p a pint.
That's pretty good for 94p. I think this bottle in Waitrose, because I'm a posh boy, is about £2.35.
Okay.
But that's 355 mil.
Yeah.
One of the more expensive homebrews, but you know, there's a lot of Cascade in it.
Yeah.
So
is.
you know, you're pushing almost £1 a pint for it, aren't you? But if you went and bought a pint of Sierra Nevada in a pub, not a lot of pubs sell it. I have had it in All Bar One, I think.
Okay.
I've Sierra Nevada often on tap. So had it in there, and you know, you're looking over £6.
Really?
For a pint.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you're looking at,
I mean, most beers are over £5 a pint, aren't they?
Yeah.
Unless you go to Wetherspoons and just hate the staff and walk 9 miles to the toilets. But yeah,
Okay.
I think it's
8.5. I'm going to give it.
really. I mean, I go a bit lower. I go 7.9. Okay. Because it's almost £1 a pint, isn't it?
You're awkward.
It's almost £1 a pint.
Yeah, but
How do you remember off the top of your head how many grams of hops are in it overall?
yeah.
So
Yeah, off the top of my head,
how many?
200 grams.
200 grams of hop. I mean, it's quite a lot, and it's all whole leaf, isn't it, rather than pellet?
Yeah. So we tried to stick to it as close as we can. Because we knew
I mean, do you reckon that was maybe because pellets wouldn't have been around at the time, like T90s weren't around? So all whole leaf Cascade. Yeah. I bet you had a lot of waste at the bottom of the grain father.
Yeah, I put it on the bed, so mashed it up with the... that was a bit of a... like an old man farting. What's it called? I just mashed it up and it's on my flower bed for a bit of compost.
Winston doesn't go near it?
No.
Good. Hops are bad for dogs.
Are they?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, because, I don't know, they'll make him ill.
All right, okay. No, he doesn't really eat it, no. So that's
Anyway.
my dog, by the way, not just a random homeless guy that goes in.
Winston's going to have a tough time sleeping in there tonight. Sessionability. Did you do the gravity and everything? How strong?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
It tastes about 5%.
Yeah, 5.6 if I'm going to be specific.
If it's about 5 to 5.5%, 5-6%, I mean, I could crush that, mate.
Oh yeah, it's
really light, isn't it? It looks, you know, yours is so gassy. It looks a bit like dark and thick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's so light, so super light,
and it's not too sweet as well. It is a well balanced beer. I think I could do 6.
I could do 6.
Yeah,
I could do 6.
I think you could do more than 6.
Yeah, I could do 6.5.
Yeah. Throwing a curry in there, maybe top up to 7.
I love this with a curry now.
Yeah,
with a spicy meal, Sierra Nevada with a nice hot spicy meal is mwah, absolutely
I never understand
delicious.
why they sell Cobra. I understand that
you want a
it's
really
a
good
beer, but you want a
proper
IPA,
IPA, like
hoppy
a big hoppy.
I think they'd sell
ale.
more as well because it's just getting, you know, super gassy from the lager. It's not matching the food. You go, right, hoppy beer, cut through all that spice. Oh yeah.
I'd be all over that, mate. I'd be all over that. I suppose the final question is, what do you prefer? Like the modern day, new, up-to-date Sierra Nevada or the original homebrew recipe?
Definitely original.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really, really close. I think this is just like cleaner.
Only because I can see how much I've drank of ours compared to theirs.
I mean, how much have you been through on this? You've been quality controlling it?
I've just been testing it to see when it's ready.
Oh, yeah. 12 times a day, just testing it,
you know.
I think it's touch and go.
Oh yeah, yeah, but
I actually think I prefer the modern day commercial version. Sorry, mate. But as like I said before, there are other clones of this available. You've made one before, but it was either before we started doing videos.
It was.
Or was it just because it was for
it was like one. It was for a friend's birthday. It was a Malt Miller.
It was Mysterio's Sierra Nevada
it's a weird
Pale Ale
old
clone.
It's a picture of a bloke with a dog, like a car. I don't understand the reference to it. There's a lot of pictures that you go, why?
But I've made that clone before as well, and it's brilliant. It's really good.
Yeah,
It's so close to the modern day one.
Yeah,
as well,
I think
isn't it?
you're right. Yeah, it was definitely more hoppier. There were some people that loved it. There's one guy that turned around that went like that, and I looked at him, and he went, "It's nice that."
It's like when you give your mates homebrew that don't know you brew and have never had it before, and they all be like, "Oh, this is going to give me a bad head tomorrow," or "Oh, I'm going to shit myself after drinking this." It's like we're just doing exactly the same as what a brewery does on a really tiny scale.
I remember I brought someone, and I think I made like a hoppy beer or something like that, and I give it him, and I was like, "What beers do you drink?" Just Peroni. Just Peroni.
It could be worse, mate. Just San Miguel. Just have a San Miguel.
Every time.
Have you got Carling? Have a Carling top.
I told you the story when I worked at Sug and Lettuce. And there was a guy that we had Kurzel, which is obviously a Czech Pilsner beer. Really, you rarely see it. Not nice beer. And a guy come in and he looked at the thing and he went, "Nah, no Carling." And I was like, "No, we haven't got Carling." But I said, "We got this Kurzel beer, really nice Czech beer. It's one of our guest things. Once it's gone, it's gone. We'll probably never have it in. Do you want to pipe that?" And he went, "Foster's, please, mate."
Just a Foster's, please.
Oh, dear.
Love it, mate. You can't help people sometimes.
No. Just try it. It's being a bit adventurous. It's still a lager.
Nah, just Foster's.
You know what you like.
With a top.
Oh, it's so shit. You need a bit of lemonade in to make it taste better.
Oh, mate,
dear.
right. That's it. So
sorry.
this is the Oyster score for the homebrew version, official homebrew version of Sierra Nevada from their website.
Yeah.
I'll put a link to it in the description down below. I'll put the full recipe that we use down below in UK malts. And probably some other links as well. I don't know what, but you'll find out.
Maybe the Yeast link so people can read up on the
Yeah,
yeast.
just go check them out. Yeah, we've used
Decide whether it's LAX or LAX.
Yeah, we have used quite a few of these WHC homebrew dried yeasts now. They are pretty good. We've got a few more coming up as well. So, but that's it now. Catch you on the next one, guys. Oysters out.